In this video, let us see the wall manufacturing process, how it is executed in Roadmap ERP system. Now we have taken a sample BOM which consists of 12 sub-assemblies. We will showcase the bill of materials and navigate to the order booking screen, which is the sales order, for creating the sale order for the FG item. Based on the sales order, material requirement planning is created, which will calculate the material requirements for all the sub-assemblies based on the required date of the FG through backward scheduling concept. It further auto-segregates the manufacturing and procurement items and release the respective documents called for the manufacturing item, production order is created, and for the procurement item, purchase request is created. Once the PO is created, it can be converted into GRN. So now the materials are inverted through GRN, which is ready for the production. For the manufacturing item, as mentioned, we have 12 sub-assemblies. For all these sub-assemblies, production orders are created. Let us proceed with the production completion process by issuing the material which is procured. We can issue the material to the work center. Certain sub-assemblies are subjected to subcontract process. Hence, subcontract order is created for the items and it is inverted through subcontract GRN. Now, once all the sub-assemblies are manufactured, let us assemble the main FG item and complete the production through production completion entry screen. After completing all the process for the FG item, let us invoice the item. So this process we are going to execute in the Roadmap ERP system. Let us dive into the demo. So this is our Roadmap ERP product. You can see the nodes such as favorites, setup, data management, transaction, reports, and analytics. Setup is to define all the master setup relevant for all the functionalities. Transaction where we are actually recording the entries of all the process in all the modules. We can generate the reports for all the transaction created through reports node. We can present the MAS and analytical reports for all the transaction through analyticals node. Now, let us navigate to the bill of materials. Click on transaction, production planning and shop floor, bill of materials screen. We can select the bill of materials with the parent item. Select the item ID, click on search. You can get the bill of materials which is created for the item. When you are opening the BOM with the BOM number, you can see the details which is unit, BOM number, BOM name, effective from and to of the bill of materials, BOM type, and you can define the routing process, which is actually the process to be executed for manufacturing the FG item. Here, this FG item is subjected to 7 processes called assembly, testing, blasting, painting, tagging, final inspection and packing. And you can define the work center. Work center is the area where the production process is actually going to be executed. So you can select the work center over here. If the process is done inside the organization or it is sent for subcontracting, that will be declared here under type. Now, to configure the material for each and every process, we can navigate to the material tab. You can see the consumption material required for each and every process. So for the first process, you can see these are the raw material requirement. This is the raw material item and its description, the required quantity of item, the source warehouse of the raw material, and if the item is subjected to multiple sub-assembly. So as we have said, so this particular item is subjected to multiple sub-assemblies. We can mention the child BOM number for every item because all these items has its own individual bill of materials. Let me showcase the tree so that you can get a clear picture of it. Let me open the BOM tree process wise. So the main item is subjected to 7 process. Let me click on assembly process. You can see these are all the materials. These are all the sub assemblies is linked with the final assembly of FG item. When I'm clicking on each and every sub assembly, you can get the process wise details and its individual BOM likewise. So it has its own sub assembly details. So this is process tree wise. Let me open BOM tree only with the items. You can see this is the item level. So first sub-assembly is subjected to child assembly. Again, you can see the child assembly like this. So collectively, to complete a main manufacturing item, we have 12 sub-assemblies which has to be executed. Now, let us raise the sales order for the manufacturing item. Let us create sales order for the FG item. Navigate to transaction, sales, sales order. Click on add icon to create new sale order. Location, the default location is auto fetched for the sale order with its respective unit. Sub voucher type is sales order general. Now select the customer from the list of values. Currency of the customer is auto updated. SO date is the system date for creating the sales order. If required, we can change using the calendar over here. Now click OK. Sales order document is created with unique sale order number, and you can see the customer name, currency, payment term, Inco term, ship via, CPC code description, reference you can see as sales order. Now let us insert a new line item. Click on add. Select the item from the list of values. Let us select the FG item. Item description is updated, and this is a sales unit of measurement. Enter the order quantity over here. Enter the unit price. If required, we can enter the discount amount. HSN code of the FG item is auto updated from the item master, and tax percentage with respect to the HSN code is updated. Based on the tax percentage, CGST amount is calculated in terms of Union Territory customer. So UTGST amount is also updated. This is the required date of the FG item. Let us select the required date from the date calendar. Let us select the required date from the date picker. Click on save. The line item is inserted. So this is how the sales order is created. Now let us click on post button to forward the document for approval. Click OK to forward the document. So the document is forwarded. Now let us navigate to the authorized person to approve the document. So in the approver user, click on the icon, navigate to approval screen. You can see the sales order which is waiting for the approval contains the information, unit, sale order, and sub voucher type is sale order general, voucher number, document detail of the sale order. Select the sale order, click process, select approve, click on process button. The document is approved. The sale order document is approved. So after creating the sale order, let us consider the sales order for running the material requirement planning. Navigate to the tree in transaction. Under production planning and shop floor, select the screen MRP. MRP is the material requirement planning screen. So here we are considering sales order as demand to run the material requirement planning for production. Click on add icon to create new MRP document. MRP date is auto updated with the sys date. Enter MRP name. Select the MRP option as order wise. To consider the sales order demand, to run the MRP based on order, we can select the MRP option as order wise. Select OK. Material requirement planning document is created. Now we are going to add the sources for which the material requirement planning is going to be run. Click on add icon. Select the unit. Enter the cutoff date. So based on the cutoff date, all the pending documents or pending demand will be considered. So when the cutoff date is entered here, all the pending orders on or before the cutoff date will be considered for running the material requirement planning. Now we are going to run the MRP based on sale order demand. So select sale order checkbox and select OK. The source is inserted. When you're clicking on load demand button, based on the sales order and the cutoff date which is entered, the demand will be run. So demand records are loaded. Let us navigate to demand tab. You can see the pending sales orders on or before the cutoff date will be loaded over here. So we have created a sales order, and you can see the BOM details and the item description, the required details, and you can see the required quantity. So this is the sale order required quantity. Now let us select sales order to run the material requirement planning. Click on check exception to check any further exception is present in terms of bill of material or any items related exception if it is there. So system will not allow you to check this exception flag. Since no exception found, so we have enabled the check exception flag now. Click on save. Now click run MRP button to run the material requirement planning. MRP is generated. So in BOM tab, we can see the bill of material details of the FG item. So you can see this is a parent item description. Let me filter with the FG item to have a clarity on the bill of material. Now you can see this is the parent item description and this is the child item. So child item details you can see whichever is associated with the parent item. So you can have these assembly details, and under results system will give you the MRP planning results. Based on the sales order selected, you can see the list of materials which is to be procured and manufactured, which is segregated based on the item type. When we filter with purchase type, this will list you all the procurement item. And when I'm clicking on manufacture type, you can see all the sub-assembly details which are all to be manufactured to produce the final assembly item. Now, when I'm taking the final FG item, let us see the result of final valve. You can see it is updated on the sale order bucket as 10. So this is the sales order quantity which is updated in sale order bucket. So apart from the final item, these are all the sub-assembly detail where the dependent demand quantity is updated over here. So to complete a final assembly item, these are all the dependent demand item which is to be completed. And to manufacture these items, the procurement details will also be listed under the item type called purchase, which is also populated under dependent demand quantity. Now, under planned order release, system will give you the list of documents for which the purchase request is created and for the item production order to be created. You can see the order type over here. There are two types of document. PO type refers to the procurement items. MFG type refers to the manufacturing item. And for all the PO items, you can see the item ID, item description, what is the planned order quantity, sale order reference, and the details. When we are releasing the purchase request, the details will be populated over here. Now, after verifying all the results of the MRP, let us click on post button to approve the material requirement planning. So now let us forward this document for approval to the authorized person. Navigate to approval screen. You can see MRP is waiting for the approval. Select the MRP, click on process, select approve, click on process button. Material requirement planning document is approved. Now in the MRP screen, let us filter the material requirement planning number. This is the MRP which is created presently, which is in approved status. You can see the release button is enabled over here. Let us release the material requirement planning. So it means you can see the order type over here. For the procurement item, where the type is assigned as PO, purchase request is created. For the manufacturing item, production order will be created. When I selecting all, purchase request and production order is created simultaneously by the system for the procurement item and the manufacturing item correspondingly. So let us select all, click on release. You can see the purchase request is created and production order is also created. Let me show you in the results. Under planned order release, for the PO item, you can refer to the purchase request details over here. So this is the PR number generated from MRP. And when I'm taking the manufacturing item, you can see the production order details over here. So this is my production order number. The status of the MRP will be changed to released. Now let us move on to the procurement process for the purchase request which is created from the material requirement planning. Under transaction, purchase module, navigate to purchase request screen, filter with the MRP number. You can see the list of purchase request created. This will give you the detail of purchase request number, requestar name, item, item description, request quantity, and the sale order reference. The narration is auto updated since it is created from the MRP planning with its MRP planning number. Let us open the purchase request. The list of items released from MRP is displayed over there. So if you want to view the last purchase details of this particular items, we can click on POGRN details. So this will give you the list of purchase details, which is last PO, and if any last GRN is done, you can view the details under last GRN. And if there is any pending PR or purchase orders for these items, we can have a note of it. Under PO and GRN details, this will give you the last PO number details, supplier details, PO quantity, unit cost details, and last GRN will give you the list of previous GRN which has been made for these items, and pending PR or PO if any, that is also displayed over here in PO GRN details. Now let us click on post button to forward the document for approval. Click on OK to forward the purchase request document for approval. Document is forwarded. Let us navigate to the approver user to approve the purchase request. Navigate to the approval screen. You can see the purchase request which is waiting for the approval. Select the document, click on process, select approve, click on process button. So the purchase request document is approved. The purchase request which is sent for the approval is displayed in the approvals dialog. Let us select the purchase request, click on process, select approve, select process. Now the purchase request document is approved. Once the purchase request document is approved, let us see the status of the purchase request. Click on purchase under transaction, navigate to the purchase request screen, click on search, select with the MRP number, click on search. You can see the purchase request document is approved and the status is marked as approved. And you can refer to the narration that the purchase request is created from the MRP and all 47 line items are approved for the purchase request. Now let us convert this purchase request into purchase order. Navigate to transaction, select purchase, click on the purchase order screen. When you're clicking on pending documents, it will display the pending purchase request which are approved. Click on pending PR. You can see all 47 line items of the purchase request is displayed over here. Now select all the purchase request lines and now click on create PO. Select the supplier from the list of values. You can see the currency of the supplier, incur term, ship via, payment term, and order date is automatically updated. When you're clicking on OK, the purchase order is created for the request. Purchase order is created with its unique PO number, PO value, ship via, payment term, incur term, or fetched from the supplier master. And you can refer to the cost profit center code here and cost profit center code description, the total PO value of the purchase order. You can see the list of items which was mentioned in the purchase request with its unit of measurement, order quantity, unit cost, and the line amount detail, HSN code of the item. Based on the HSN code, tax percentage is calculated with the tax percentage based on the location details of the supplier and the unit. You can see the IGST amount is calculated. Now click on post button of the purchase order. Click on OK. Purchase order is document is forwarded for approval. Now let us navigate to the approver user of the workflow approver. You can see the document purchase order from PR is waiting for your approval. Select the purchase order document, click on process, select approve, and select the process button. Now purchase order document is approved. Once the purchase order document is approved, we can invert the materials through GRN. So navigate to transaction. Under purchase, you can see the screen called GRN purchase. Click on it. Click on pending records to view the pending purchase orders, which is waiting for converting into goods receipt note. Select pending purchase order. You can see all 47 line of purchase orders displayed over here in pending PO. Select all the purchase order documents. Click on Create GRN button. GRN date is auto-updated with the system date and supplier bill date and DC date too. Now let us enter the supplier bill number, enter the DC number, click on OK. You can see the GRN document is created with the GRN number. So you can easily refer to the GRN number, and the source is purchase order since the GRN is created through purchase order, and supplier ID, supplier name, currency of the supplier, ship via, payment term, Incoterm of the supplier, supplier bill date and supplier bill number, DC date and DC number. So you can also refer to the GRN value. Now, when the purchase order is converted into GRN, the line item details like item description, HSN code of the item, supply bill quantity, receipt quantity, accept quantity are automatically updated over here. If this particular item is a self-certified item, the GRN will pass on to inspection. Since this is a self-certified item, you can see the accept quantity is updated over here. If it is a quality item or it has to pass to the inspection, the accepted quantity is updated as 0. The GRN will be subjected to inspection, only then the document is received. Now, click on Generate Lot Serial button to generate the unique lot numbers for the inwarding item. So on clicking Generate Lot Serial, you can see the supplier lot number, heat number, test number is updated. You can also change the supplier lot number as per the lot number received from the supplier, and receipt quantity, accept quantity are updated. You can also refer to the manufacturing date. Now, let us click on Post button to invert the materials. The GRN document will be sent for the approval to the workflow user. In the approvals page of the workflow authorized user, you can see the GRN document waiting for the approval. Select the document. So you can also refer to the voucher type, sub-voucher type of the GRN, voucher number of the GRN, and the details of the GRN. So after reviewing the details, you can click on Process, select Approve, click on Process button. So the GRN document is approved. Once the GRN document is approved, let us see the status of the GRN. Now, the stock of the raw materials are inverted through GRN, and hence the document can be changed to received status. So now let me filter with the GRN number. Click on search. You can see the all 47 line items status are changed as received. It means the item is purchased from the supplier and it is brought into the stocks now. Now this is ready for the production operation. Now, the material required for the production completion or received into stock. Let us start with the production process. Since two documents are created while releasing the MRP, one is procurement request, that is purchase request, and production order. Through the purchase request, we have inverted the material to GRN. Now we can start processing the production. Navigate to production planning and shop floor under transaction node. Click on the production order screen. We can filter with the MRP number. Click on search. You can see the production orders created based on the MRP release. Now, let us select one particular item of production completion. So, we have 12 sub-assemblies. Let us start making the production completion of the very first sub-assembly. So, let us take this item. You can see the production order number is created, and for the item called actuator, for the quantity 10, and BOM number of the item, sale order reference you can see against the sales order number. So based on the sale order number created for the FG item, the sale order number traceability will be coming throughout for all the sub-assemblies. So this is used for the traceability of the record. We can fetch the SO reference at any stage in the production completion. You can also refer to the MRP number over here. Now let us complete the production process of this actuator item. Open the production order number. You can refer to the details of the production order. Process details, actuators, assembly is the process description. Location, consumption warehouse and receipt warehouse. And a material requirement, you can see for the material requirements over here. Now we can click on post button to post this production order. So the production order document is sent for the approval to the concerned user. Click on OK. Document is forwarded. Let us navigate to the approver user. Open the approvals dialog. Production order waiting for the approval is displayed. Select the document and process it. Select the approve radio button. Click on process. Now production order document is approved. To create completion record, let us navigate to transaction, production planning and shop floor. Navigate to the production completion entry single process. So this is a screen where we can move the documents to the production completion. So when you're clicking on the pending records, you can see all the production orders which are approved and waiting for the production completion. Now you can refer to our production completion item, which is the actuator with of production order number 72. And you can see the order quantity over here. So this is the pending production queue, which displays the details of the production orders waiting for the production completion with its process information, order quantity, queue quantity. Inside quantity bucket displays the quantity when the production completion is created for the inside process. When you are moving the production completion for subcontracting process, the respective bucket, which is the outside quantity, will be updated. Now we are going to create the completion record for the actuator item. So let me filter with the item details. Only the corresponding record is filtered out. Let us enter the completion quantity. Select the document. Now click on create completion process. Select in which location we are going to do this production completion. Click on OK. You can see the material request is created and process completion record is also created. This material request is created for the consumption materials automatically by the system for the required quantity when we are creating the completion record. So that reference you can see over here. And this is a completion record with its location information and the item, the actuator item and the process. You can see the sale order reference which is captured, which is the FG sale order number. And this is one of the sub-assembly. We are moving the production completion. So you can also refer to the consumption records, which are the raw material requirements, and you can see the required quantity. Since the completion quantity is done based on the BOM quantity, the required quantity is updated for all the consumption materials. Now you can select the shift details, in which shift the production completion is going to be operated. Click on save. Now, the material request which is created for the consumption item must be issued to complete the production entry. So let us navigate to transaction, inventory, material request. We can filter with the production order number. So click on search. You can see the material requirements concerning to the production order number will be displayed over here. So the request information will contain a request number, requester name, item description of the consumption material, request quantity, order type. Since the material request is created through production order, the order type is assigned as production order with its production order number and sale order reference, the document created by created employee ID, created IP address, and created user. So these are all the information for the traceability. So to know who has created the document with its created date. The line status is draft because it is in new status. Now we can process this material request. So the material request which is created for the production consumption displayed with the document. Now click on post. The document is forwarded for approval. You can see the document is forwarded. Let us approve this document through workflow user. The material request document which is forwarded for authorization is displayed in the approvals dialog. The user can select the material request which is waiting for his approval. Click on process, select approve, click on process button. The document is approved. After approving the material request, it is ready for issuing to the work center. So let us navigate to material issuance voucher. We can see the pending material requests which are approved under pending documents. So these are all the material request line which is presently approved. We can also filter with the production order number. Click on search. So these are the material request lines which is to be issued for the production completion. Select all material request line, click on create MIV. This is a system date of issuance. Click on create MIV button. Material issuance voucher is created with its receiver warehouse. So when we are issuing the material, the items stock will be increased in the work in process warehouse. And this is the item description, source warehouse of the item, issuance quantity, and you can also refer to the request quantity, which is the material request quantity. Click on view details to refer to the production order number, sale order reference number, what is the target operation number and target process. You can also refer to the material request reference from which the material issuance is created. Now post the material issuance, the stock of source warehouse is decreased and the stock of the WIP warehouse is increased for production completion. Once the material is issued, we can move for the production completion process. Under transaction, production planning and shop floor, production completion entry single process, filter with the production order number. The completion record which is already created is displayed. Navigate to the document. Now click on allocate to allocate the consumption stocks for the production completion. Material allocation completed. Now click on post to complete the production completion process of an actuator item. Now you can see the QC document is created. Once the production process is completed, the document is moved for inspection for quality check, and you can also refer to the inspection document number over here. To complete the inspection process, let us navigate to quality under transaction. Navigate to inspection document. Click on pending records to view all pending inspection request lines. So this is the voucher number. Since the inspection document is created from production area, the inspection type is assigned as shop floor movement, and type and voucher number of the item, which is the production completion document number, item ID, item description, inspection request quantity, lot number of the item which is subjected to inspection, and you can see the current process quantity which is about to move into inspection document. Now select the inspection request. Click on create QC document to create the inspection document. So the date prompt is the system date. Click on OK. Inspection document is created from the pending document. So this will give you the information of the item description for which the inspection has to be done, the accept quantity, voucher number and the production order number, inspection request number, inspection quantity, process you can just choose for which process the inspection is to be done, and you can also refer to the details which contains the information of sale order project reference. Now, if you want to reject any of the item during the inspection, as per the accept quantity, the rejection quantity is populated. For the rejected quantity, defects can be entered here under defects dialog. Now, click on post. Inspection document is forwarded for approval. Click on OK. Let us navigate to the approval dialog. You can see the inspection document which is waiting for the approval. Select the inspection document, click on process and approve. Click on process button. You can see the inspection document is approved. Now the production completion of actuator item is done. We can move on to the stock screen to check for the stock quantity of the item. Click on reports, inventory, current stocks list. Let us filter with the item. Generate the stocks. You can refer to the stock level of the actuator item for which the production completion is presently completed. SFG warehouse, and this is the item description. Stock is increased for 10 quantity. You can also refer to the stock cost of this. We can move on to the production completion to know the stock cost of the item. Let us navigate to the production completion entry and refer to the cost details of the item. after production completion. Filter with the production order number and the item details. Now you can see the document status is posted. So we have completed the production completion of the actuator item for 10 quantity, and it has been increased in stocks too. You can refer to the cost details here. So for completing the actuator assembly, you can refer to the value of the production completion. You can also refer to the unit cost of the item over here. Now the production order status of this item is changed to completed. Let us filter with the production order number. You can see the status of the production order of the actuator item is completed. So in the same way, so we have completed the production process of one subassembly item. So in the same way, we can complete the production process of all other 11 subassembly item to prepare the FG item assembly details. So if we are having subcontract process for the item, so this is how we are creating the inside production completion. If the item is subjected to subcontracting process, we can process the item through subcontracting process. So let us explain the how the subcontracting process is handled for one item. So let me show you the production order of an item which is subjected to subcontracting process. So let us filter the production order of an item which is subjected to subcontracting process, which is released from the MRP 8. So this is one of the subassembly item which is done through subcontracting process. Let us demonstrate how a subcontracting process is executed in Roadmap ERP. Now let us take this production order number. Now you can see the reference of this item. So body black non-coating is the item which is subjected to subcontracting process. So let us process this production through subcontracting process. You can see the details of the routing, material requirement of the item with its raw material item and source warehouse, and what is the BOM quantity and what will be the required quantity. Now let us click on post button to post the production order of the body blank non-coating subassembly item. Click on OK. The document is forwarded for approval. Let us approve the production order document. Now the production order document which is sent for the approval is displayed in the approvals screen. Click on approvals, select the production order, click on process, select approve and process. Now the production order document is approved. To process this production order through subcontracting process, let us navigate to the user. The process which is explained earlier is through inside production completion. Now let us demonstrate the subcontracting process, how it is handled in Roadmap ERP system. Once the production order document is approved, let us navigate to transaction. Under subcontract, the approved production orders will be displayed in the pending outside queue. Now click on pending records. You can see the pending production outside documents is displayed over here on clicking on search button. Since body blank non-coating item is created as production order, now we are going to process this through subcontracting. You can see the production order number of the item description, for how much quantity the subcontracting process is to be executed. That will be updated in the completion quantity. This is a queue quantity of subcontracting process. Now select the pending production queue, click create subcontract, select the subcontractor name from the list of values. You can see the location details, currency, Incoterm of the supplier, ship via details, payment term of the supplier is automatically updated for the present date. Now click on OK. You can see the subcontractor order is created for the body blank non-coating item. So in the subcontract order screen, you can refer to the item description, order quantity, unit cost, HSN code of the item, BOM name of the manufacturing item, which is the subcontracting item, and BOM number. And In the next level, you can refer to the process details, which is subjected to the subcontracting process. What is the batch cost? What is the conversion factor? And job work charges item is declared. Now select the SAC code for the service or for the subcontracting item. So this is the process quantity, which is the subcontract order quantity, the process cost of the item, and this is the tax percentage, which is updated based on the SAC code selected. And you can also refer to the accessible value, which is the product of the process quantity and the unit cost. And based on the tax percentage selected, you can refer to the CGST amount and UTGST amount, which is calculated. Now click Save to save the process details. When you're clicking on Generate MRP, material requirements for the subcontracting process to be done is calculated in the subcontract order. Click Generate MRP. The material requirements are generated, which can be viewed under MRP. Now click Generate MRP to generate the material requirements for the subcontracting process. We can refer to the material requirements under MRP dialog over here. So you can refer to the warehouse of the raw material, item description, unit of measurement, and how much required quantity of raw material is used for the subcontracting process. You can see here, which is auto calculated from the system. Now click on Include Cost to add the process cost for the subcontracting process. Click on Post to forward the subcontract order document for approval. Click OK. Subcontract document is forwarded for approval. Let us move on to the approval process. Navigate to the approval dialog of the authorized user for approving the subcontract order. Select the document. Click on Process. Select Approve. Click Process. Now you can see the material request is created and subcontractor document is approved. The material request is created for the material requirements, which is generated in the subcontract order automatically on approving the subcontract order. Now let us navigate to the user. On approving the subcontract order, the material request is created, is issued to the supplier through DC. Using the material, once the subcontracting process is done at the supplier end, the material is inverted through subcontracting GRN. So this process we are going to see now. Okay, so now we can go for the transaction. Under inventory, we can navigate to the material request screen to issue the material to the subcontractor. We can filter with the production order number from which the subcontracting order is created. So now you can see the material request which is created for the item can carry the subcontract order number and production order number. So this is the request quantity for doing the subcontracting process. Open the material request screen. You can see the item, warehouse, production order number, 62.5. This is a request quantity from the supplier end. Do the subcontracting process. Click on Post. Let us forward this document for approval. Now we can approve the material request by navigating to the user. Navigate to the approvals window. You can see the material request waiting for the approval. Click on Process. Select Approve. Select the Process button. Material request to document is approved. Now let us issue the material request through material issuance voucher to the supplier. Navigate to the material issuance voucher screen under inventory transaction. Open the pending records which is to be issued. We can filter with the production order number. So this is the material request which is to be issued to the supplier end. You can also refer to the type of the item, material item description, how much quantity is to be issued, and you can refer to the production order number of the item. Select the material request, click on Create MIV, create MIV to create the material issuance voucher. Now you can see the receiver type is subcontractor because the material is issued to the supplier for subcontracting process, hence it is automatically assigned as subcontractor for receiver type. And you can see the item description, issuance quantity, and which lot number we are going to issue to the supplier for the subcontracting process. Now let us click on Post button to issue the material to the supplier. You can see the material issuance is created and posted, and DC corresponding to the material issuance to the supplier is also created automatically. Let us navigate to the DC screen to know the DC details of the issuance. Under transaction, gate entry, navigate to delivery challan, filter with the DC number, click on search. You can see the DC details over here, which is auto posted on issuing the material. The DC contains information with its unique DC number. Type is subcontractor since the material is issued to the supplier end. Return type is returnable conversion since the raw material which is issued to the supplier is processed at the supplier end and will be returned with the processed item, and hence the return type is returnable conversion item. Hence supplier details. See the production order number. The status of the DC is approved. After issuing the material to the supplier end, once the processes are done at the supplier end, so that will be inverted as a processed material through subcontract GRN. Now let us invert the material. Navigate to transaction. Under subcontract, open GRN SEO screen. Click on pending records to view all the pending subcontract orders. Click on pending subcontract orders. So this is the order which is sent for the supplier end for processing. You can refer to the SEO number, which is the subcontract order number, item description, and which is the 10 quantity of this is sent for the subcontracting process. Now we are going to invert all the 10 quantity after processing from the supplier end. So we can enter the PR quantity, which is the processed quantity. If you want to specify in case of any unprocessed material or suppliers declared scrap material or cut sample quantity or unprocessed standard material, so the respective buckets we can enter the values. Now let us invert all 10 quantities as a processed material. Select the record. You can also refer to the process details here for which process it has been sent for subcontracting. Click on close. You can also refer to the order date, ship location details. Now, after selecting the document, click on Create GRN, enter the supplier bill number, enter the DC number, click on OK. Subcontract GRN is created with a unique GRN number. The type is assigned as GRN subcontract standard. It is created the draft status. Supplier information is populated with its supplier bill date and supplier bill number, DC date and DC number. You can also refer to ship via payment term of the subcontract order. So this is the subcontracting item which is inverted after processing at the supplier end with its item description and which is of 10 quantity. The lot number is generated over here, which is the supplier lot number, and this is the heat number and test number, unique test number and heat number, which is generated automatically by the system based on the lot rule defined in the item master. Now you can also refer to the manufacturing date of the item. Let us click on generate material consumption to offset the DC which is sent to the supplier end. The DC details through which the materials for consumption is sent, so that is offset here under the DC details shown over here. You can refer to the DC offset details here with its consumption information and its required quantity. You can also refer to the DC consumption quantity over here. Now let us allocate the material. After processing the subcontract process, the material is allocated. Click on post button. So GRN subcontract document is forwarded for approval. Once the document is approved by the authorized user, the GRN stocks is inverted. It means the subcontracting process of the subassembly item is completed and the stock will be updated. Now let us click on OK to forward the document for approval. Open the approvals dialog to approve the document which is waiting for approval. Select the GRN document, click on process, select approve, click on process button. So the GRN document is approved and the inspection document is created. So the GRN which is created is moved to the inspection after completing the process at the supplier end. Let us navigate to the inspection document for inspecting the subcontracting process done from the supplier end for an item. Once the GRN document is approved for the subcontract, let us pass on to the inspection to inspect the processed item from the supplier end. So let us navigate to transaction, quality, move on to the inspection document, click on the pending documents. You can see the document which is waiting for the inspection. Since the inspection document is created from GRN subcontract, the inspection type is assigned as GRN SC, and you can see the voucher number, item details, lot number of the manufacturing item, test number, heat number of the item. This is the current inspection quantity. So let us also refer to the supplier information and subcontract order number. So the subcontract order number, sales order reference, lot numbers, GRN number, everything will be carried over from the GRN document. Let us select the document for creating inspection. Click on OK after entering the system date. You can see the inspection document is created with all its reference number. So this is the item, assembly item, sub-assembly item subjected to inspection, lot number of the item, GRN details, production order details, inspection request detail of the item. We can refer here. When you're clicking on details dialog, you can also refer to the order prefix, which is the subcontract order prefix, subcontract order number through which the order has been done. This is the sale order reference which is carried over. Click on post button to forward the inspection document for approval. Open the approvals dialog. The GRN document which is waiting for approval. The inspection document which is waiting for approval is displayed. Select the document, click on process, select approve, select process. The inspection document is approved. Now the complete subcontracting order process is completed. So we have completed a subassembly item, production completion of a subassembly item through subcontracting process. Let me show you the stocks of the item. Let us navigate to the stocks, filter with the subcontracting process item. Let us filter with the item description. Click on generate. You can see the warehouse, which is the destination warehouse after completing the subcontracting process for this item, and stock quantity is increased to for 10. And you can also refer to the sale order wise stock details for the item. So for 10 quantity, since the sales order number is 9 for the main item created, so against the sales order number, the stock is increased. So SO traceability we can get for the item. Similarly, let me show you the stock of the earlier subassembly which is completed through inside production completion, which is the actuator item. Let me filter it out. You can see for the same sales order number 9, so 10 quantities increased for the subassembly item also. Now in the same way we can create the production completion for all the remaining subassembly, then we can move for the production completion of main subassembly item. In the earlier process, we have completed two sub-assemblies. One with the processes done inside the organization, and for the other sub-assembly, the production completion is done through subcontracting process. In the same way, the inside and outside process completion will be done in Roadmap ERP system. Now, since 12 sub-assemblies are linked with the main FG item, in the same way, all the other sub-assemblies are completed. Let me showcase the status of other sub-assemblies which is completed in the same way. Let us filter with the MRP number. You can see all the documents under the MRP number which is released under this MRP. So these are all the production orders of main assemblies and sub-assembly items released from material requirement planning. So in the same way, all the other sub-assemblies are completed. Now we have a final valve, which is the main item for which we have created the sales order, which is the demand item. Now we are going to process the main FG item. So let us open the production order. So you can see the process details of the main item called assembly, testing, blasting, painting, tagging, final inspection, and packing. So these are all the 7 processes to be executed to complete the main manufacturing item. So this is the production order screen. Let us click on post button to forward the document for approval. The document is forwarded. Let us navigate to the approver user. Click on the approvals. So the production order waiting for the approval is displayed. Select the production order. Click on process. Select approve. Click on the process button. So the production order document is approved. Now we can go for the production completion operation of the main item. To create the production completion entry, let us navigate to transaction, production planning and shop floor. We have configured the main manufacturing item as a serial item. So let us complete the production process through a specific screen called production completion entry serial number wise. When you are clicking on the pending records, you can see the pending production orders which is waiting for the production completion. So now the production order number, this is our main manufacturing item which is final valve for which process it has been waiting, and you can see the queue quantity over here. The process details will give you the list of process to be executed to create the production completion. So the first process is assembly, hence the select is enabled for the first process. Now let us select the production order, click on create serial completion document, enter the shift details, the start date and with the time and end date with the time is auto populated. Based on shift it is selected, click on create. Production completion document is created and material request will also be created for the completion entry. Material request is created for the consumption item for the corresponding process for which we have created the completion entry. So in the production completion screen, you can see the production completion document number, process start date and end date, shift details, and item details with its item description and which process the completion document is created. And you can also refer to the production order number, the sales order reference number with the traceability, and for which customer the item is demanded. Now, to process this production completion, let us issue the material to the work center. So let us navigate to transaction, inventory, material request. Filter with the production order number. You can easily fetch the material request for the corresponding production order item. So now you can see these are all the 7 material requirement, which is nothing but the sub assemblies processed with the following the earlier process. Now let us open the material request which lists the material requirement for completing the process, and you can click on post button for approving the material request from the work center. Click on OK. Document is forwarded for approval. Now let us issue the material to the production area through material issuance voucher. Click on inventory, material issuance voucher. Click on pending records. Filter with the production order number. System will fetch you the list of material request. Select the materials. Click on create MIV to create the material issuance voucher. The MIV is created, which is the material issuance voucher with its MIV number. Receiver type is WAP because we are issuing this material to the work in progress warehouse. And you can see the list of item to be issued to the warehouse for production completion with its issuance quantity. And for each item, you can also refer to the corresponding lot number, which we are going to issue to the production. Now, after verifying the material issuance voucher, click on post. MIV is posted. Now the material is issued to the work center. Let us navigate to the production completion entry screen to process it. Filter with the production order number. Open the production completion document. Now click on generate lot serial to generate the serial number for this FG item. You can see the serial number over here. Since the quantity is 10, you can refer to the from serial and to serial, which is the running number generated. So it is starting from 006. It means 5 serials are already produced. Now the next serial number is 6 followed by 10 serials. You can see the 2 serial number as 015. You can have the detailed records here with its completion serial numbers. Now click on generate consumption to generate the consumption details for the production completion. Navigate to the consumption tab. You can see the list of consumption item details, consumption quantity details. Select the allocate flag. Under the consumption, you can see the lot of the consumption material is allocated over here for every consumption item. Now, once the production completion entries are done, let us click on post button to post the production completion. You can see the document is posted. The first process is completed now. Now the assembly process is completed. We can move on to the pending production queue to process further pending production process. Now filter with the production order number, click on search. You can see 10 serials are created after completing the first process. Since assembly process is done with the production completion of 10 quantity, individual serial number is created for each and every item. So you can see the serial numbers from 6 to 15. Now let us select all the production completion serials to execute the second process, which is called testing. Now click on create completion. Select the shift details. Click on create. So you can see again for the second process, which is called testing, the serial completion record is created. Since we have selected all the serial numbers, so you can see the from serial number and to serial number over here with its completion serial number here. If you are selecting a particular serial number, so what will happen? Only the completion serial numbers will be listed over here. Now again generate consumption. You can see the consumption details. So the semi-finished item after completing the assembly process will be the consumption details for the second process called testing. Now select allocate button, select allocate flag, material allocation is done, click on post. So the second process is completed over here. Now after completing the two process, let us move on to the third process of the final wall. Click on pending records, filter with the production order number, select search. You can see the production order number with its final wall and waiting for the process called blasting, which is the third process. And you can see the SF code which is updated. SF code is a semi-finished code which denotes the process which is completed. So here you can see 2 1 followed by 5 zeros. It means two processes are already completed. Now it is waiting for 5 more process. Now we are going to execute the third process. So this is the source SF code. The target SF code will be 11140. Now let us complete the third process by selecting all the serials. You can see the process details over here. So these are all the pending process to be done yet. Now click on create completion document. Select the shift. Click on create. So the production completion document is created for the third process. You can see the serial numbers over here. Click on generate consumption. Consumption details is generated. Fetching the semi-finished item after the second process. Click on allocate. Now click on post button. So you can see the QC document is created. Since the third process is subjected to inspection, after completing the production completion entry, the document is forwarded to the inspection department. So hence the quality document is created. Now let us navigate to the quality node under transaction, quality, click on inspection document, click on the pending records. You can see those 10 serials, 6 to 15 serials will be created as an individual inspection document for each and every serial. You can also refer to the production completion document number, item description, serial details and quantity details. Now select all the processes. Now select all the inspection request. Click on create QC document. 10 individual inspection document will be created for each and every serial. Click on create QC document. Click on OK. You can see inspection document is created from document number 59 to 68. It means individual inspection documents are created for every serial number. and you can refer to the serial number over here. So this is the serial number 6 item. You can see the inspection quantity, voucher number, production order number, inspection request number, and process details. Under details, you can refer to the production order references. Under details, you can refer to the sale order reference for traceability. Now, let us click on post button to complete the inspection document. Click on OK. The document is forwarded for approval. So in the same way, let us move all the inspection document together. In the same way, let us move all the inspection document for approval. Let us navigate to the approval user to approve all the quality document. Click on the approvals. You can see all the inspection document which is waiting for the approval for 10 serials. Let us filter with the document type alone. You can see 10 documents which is waiting for the approval. Now select all the inspection document, click on process, select approve, and process the inspection document. You can see the inspection document is approved. So we have completed 3 production processes. In the same way, let us complete all the other 4 processes. Navigate to production completion, entry, click on the pending records, click on search with the production order number. Now you can see the third process is also completed and SF code is updated with 3, 1 and 4 zeros. So in the same way, we will complete the other 3 processes by selecting all the production completion document. Now, out of 7 production process of the main item, we have completed 6 production completion processes and we are into final process now. Let us navigate to the production completion screen. Click on the pending records. Filter with the production order number. You can see the 10 serial numbers which is pending for the last process with its SF code updated as 61 followed by last process as 0. Now we can select all the production serials to execute the last process. Click on create completion document, select the shift, click create. You can see the completion document is created for the last process with the item description and the process. Last process is packing, production order number, sale order reference, and you can see the customer details over here. Process details is fetched, and the completion serials is totally for 10 serial numbers. All the 10 serial numbers are populated over here. Now let us click on generate consumption. The consumption details are updated for all the serial numbers. Now click on allocate to allocate the consumption materials for the production completion. Click on post button to complete the production completion of the last process. Now all the processes of the main items are completed. Let us navigate to the production order to see the production order status. Open the production order screen. Filter with the MRP number. You can see all the sub-assemblies and the main assembly documents are completed. Let me filter with the main item. You can see the production order status is completed. Let us also navigate to the stock status of the main item in current stock screens. Let us filter with the item description. You can generate. So the finished good warehouse stock is increased for the final item, which is the final manufacturing item for quantity 10 numbers. And you can also refer to the serial stock on clicking the lot serial stock, and you can generate here. So for the lot serial stock quantity, you can see, let us take with the sales order reference. We have created the sales order number 9. So with the sale order reference against this particular sale order, 10 quantity of main item is manufactured, and you can also check for the traceability over here for the item. Now, once the stock is increased, let us invoice the item. Navigate to the sales invoice screen. In the pending icon, you can view all the pending sales orders. For the item, you can see the sale order number 9. Let us filter the sales order alone, which is subjected to material requirement planning. So sale order number 9, you can see the item description, and for 10 quantity. So you can see the corresponding buckets over here. You can also make partial invoices. So when we are creating partial invoices for the quantity, when you are creating partial quantity invoices, so the corresponding bucket is updated over here with the invoiced quantity. If a quantity is moved to sales invoices, if it is in new status, the in process quantity bucket is updated. If the orders are close shorted, you can also, the close short quantity bucket is updated. So the balance quantity after moving the partial quantity of invoices will be updated in the due. Now select the record, sales order record, click on create invoice. Sales invoice document is created. Sales invoice type is assigned as general. Customer name is updated. And now you can see for the item details, item description, which is the invoice quantity, unit price, and line amount is auto calculated based on the quantity and unit price. Based on the HSN code, the tax amount and tax percentage is updated over here. Now click on allocate lot serial. So the serial numbers corresponding to the quantity, invoice quantity, will be fetched over here. So for the 10 quantity, you can see the serial over here. When I'm going for the next, you can see the 6 to 15 serials are fetched, and we can click on pick button to allocate the quantity to the customer. Now select the sales invoice prefix, click on save, and click on create invoice number. So sales invoice number is created. Click on post button to forward the invoice document for approval. Let us navigate to the approval user to approve the sales invoice document. Click on approvals. You can see the sales invoice document. Select the sales invoice. Click on process. Select approve and process the sales invoice. The sales invoice document is approved. Now the invoice is done for the valve item. So this is how the process of production from sales order and material requirement planning, and how it is handled in production, the procurement operation, and all the completion processes are handled in Roadmap ERP system. Now let us see the traceability of the production happened. Navigate to reports. Under production planning and shop floor, we have a report called traceability report. Select the unit, select the main item, select the serial number. Now click on load details. So in one screen, you can see the invoice details of the particular main item and item details, what are all the production process it is subjected to, and FG receipt details in the same screen. So here under invoice detail, you can see the customer description, what is the invoice number of the serial, what is the invoice date, and the quantity you can see here. When I'm going for the item details, the subassembly information of the particular item based on the bill of material and the production executed, you can see the consumption material over here. So these are all the subassemblies which is assembled together to the final valve item. So the quantity, GRN details, and you can see the material receipt voucher document number and the warehouse details. The last item is subjected to subcontracting process, and you can see the DC date, supplier information for the particular item. So you can see the production details of the main item with its production order number, completion document number, completion date, quantity, completion quantity, accept reject quantity, and you can see the details of start and end date and which shift it is completed. You can also refer to the FG receipt information here. So through this material receipt voucher, the FG stock is increased after completing all the process, and you can refer to the SF code where all zeros are turned to 1, indicating that all the processes are completed.